Now, these can get even a little bit more fancy as we're working with our ratio. So we just keep our idea of ratio in place first, and then we'll work with whatever we're given. So here we're comparing 2 1/3 to 2 2/3. So again, we're just comparing numbers, so that's the same units. So we're going to write 2 1/3 compared to 2 2/3. Now again, we don't like working with the mixed numbers, so let's rewrite this using the improper fractions. So 3 times 2 would be 6, plus 1 would be 7, so that would be 7/3 on top. And on bottom, 3 times 2 would be 6, plus 2 is 8 over 3. Now remember, this really and truly means 7/3 divided by 8/3, because this is nothing more than a division problem. And we never divide fractions. Instead, we change it to a multiplication problem and flip the second number. Remember, this is, once we write it as the ratio, now it just becomes our fraction rules that we deal with. So in this problem, we can cancel the 3's on top and bottom. And so our ratio looks like 7 to 8, or 7/8. Okay, here again, one more example with decimals. We have 8 cents, basically, compared to 6 cents. So if I write this, I can compare them because these are both dollars, and I'm just going to write it as 0.08 divided by, or over, compared to 0.06. Now, we did a problem earlier in the last video where we worked with decimals, and we discovered a new little trick that we can use. We can do the same thing here. This decimal is to the hundredths position, and this decimal is to the hundredths position. So as long as I multiply top and bottom by the same thing, I'm not changing anything. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 100 in this case, which will move the decimal over 2 places. So now I'm comparing 8 to 6. Those are the same, those are kept in the same proportion, which is something we're going to talk about later also. Now we can reduce this fraction down because 2 will go into 8 4 times, and 2 will go into 6 3 times. So my reduced ratio would be 4/3. Now, we can also work with application type problems once we understand how ratios work. So here we have a table that's talking about, different holidays and events and the number of cards that are normally sold for that holiday or event. And so this came from Hallmark. Now our question says, find the ratio of Thanksgiving cards to graduation cards. So if we're going to write this as a ratio, we would need to keep it in the proper order. So they're asking us to compare Thanksgiving compared to graduation. So let's look at how many cards they normally sell on Thanksgiving, and that would be 30 million. And on bottom, we're going to write the graduation. So we go up to our table and we look at the graduation cards, which they've said is 60 million. Now, we can start reducing. Since we have million on top and million on bottom, we could divide by 1,000,000, which will cancel that out. And now we can continue reducing down our fraction because 30 will go into 30 one time and it'll go into 62 times. So as a reduced ratio, that would be 1 to 2, or 1/2.